Hello everybody and welcome back to Linda Tina TV. If it's your first time here, welcome, hello there. Do consider subscribing to my channel. You just might like some of my content. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about the quarter life crisis. We've all heard about the midlife crisis, the late life crisis, which is usually triggered by retirement or divorce or some big change in your life, sickness, a health scare in your life. But then we have the quarter life crisis, which is usually between your early 20s to your mid 30s, but it could also be a little before your early 20s or a little after your mid 30s. And the quarter life crisis is basically that time in your life where you feel anxiety about where you should be in life, society or your personal expectations versus the reality of life, what you're actually living. Or it could be just depression because you've not been able to achieve the plans and the goals you had, the goals your parents had, the goals the society has, where they feel, at this time of your life you should be doing this, how come you're not doing that? Or even pressure from your peers, what your peers are doing at that time in your life. To be honest, it's been called the quarter life crisis, and an age gap has been given for it. But I feel like these are things and emotions that we have all experienced at some point in our lives. It could be in your early 20s, it could be in your late 30s, it could be in your 40s, it could be in your teens, in your late teens, it could be anywhere in your life. So I'll just use the word quarter life crisis just to give it a name, like it's been given. But let's just generally speak about these feelings and emotions that I'm talking about. And the aim of this video is to share with you ways in which we can try to get out of this crisis when it comes at whatever point in our lives these feelings come. The feelings of feeling unsure, the feeling of feeling the time of your life where you feel like you're aiming nowhere, you have no direction, that period of soul searching. I felt very strongly about sharing this video because for a long time I've had this feeling, but sometimes I feel like I'm the kind of person who's going to have this emotion and this feeling of soul searching for the rest of my life. Forget about the crisis. It's kind of who I am. I'm always trying to find myself and find my calling. I'm always asking my friends and family, people who are close to me, people that I talk to often, that what do you think is our aim in life? Why are we here? What's our purpose? So are we meant to just, go to school, have a job? For some people, have kids, have a husband, have a wife, and then what, So it can be very confusing, but I think that's what makes us human. If you don't have these feelings and you just, whatever comes, whatever goes, I feel like then you are not so in touch with your emotions, which is fine. I'm not judging anyone, but it's also fine to be in sync and in touch with your emotions like that.
You trying to make me, I wanna leave in your making, yeah. I try to see the one I need to love.
So now let's talk about the ways in which we can get ourselves out of that crisis for those who are experiencing it, or when it comes, how do you find yourself out of it positively without it bringing you down? And the first thing I could think about is have a plan. Have a plan, but remember, if that plan doesn't go as you thought, that's also fine, okay? So there's a difference between pressing expectations on yourself and having a plan. I feel like it's important to have a plan because then you feel like you have direction. If you don't have a plan, obviously you're going to feel like you're heading nowhere because you are heading nowhere. But have a goalpost. Most people write their plans down or they make resolutions like a New Year resolution, a weekly resolution, a monthly resolution. Just have a plan, any sort of plan. It doesn't have to be a plan of 5 years, of 10 years. It can be just a plan for the day. As long as you have something you are heading towards, it makes you feel more organized. It makes you feel like you have a direction. Next is find your passion. Now, this is something that I am very passionate about, because I feel like most times we go through this crisis of soul searching because we don't know who we are, what our purpose is, why we want to do the things we want to do, or what we even want to do. You find yourself for a long period of time doing things you don't like, things you don't enjoy. Obviously, I'm not talking about work if you need to be at a job that you don't like very much, but you need to do because you need to earn some money, you need to live. But find a passion, even out of your 9-to-5 job, say for example. Find something you love, something that makes you happy, something that makes you feel like you are complete, something that makes you feel fulfilled. It can be a class that you do after work. It can be something that you do for fun. It could be helping people. It could be voluntary work. Just find a passion. My passion is YouTube, talking to you guys. And sometimes I'm behind because I'm working, I'm busy with the kids, but each time I make a video, I'm telling you there's a part of me that feels fulfilled. So find a passion. And trust me, everybody deep inside there, if you look within yourself, there is something that you're passionate about. And doing that thing, it doesn't matter if you're doing it for 5 minutes a day, it will give you a satisfaction like no other. Don't seek perfection. Now, nobody is perfect, nobody has it all together, and neither do you. Each time you seek perfection, you're gonna feel unsatisfied, because at the end of the day, it's really hard to be 100% on top of everything in your life, in your marriage, in your school, in your work, in your social life, in everything. So don't seek perfection. If you're able to do something over 50%, good enough. If you're doing it at 40%, try harder, get to 50%, and then strive for that 100. But if you don't get there, that's fine. Do not seek perfection. Take your time. Rome was not built in one day. Good things take time. So don't rush through things, because we as millennials especially are rushing through things. We want to get on top of our career real fast. We want to buy a house, we want to buy a car, we want to have kids, we want to have a family really soon. But you have to understand that good things take time. And when you rush through something that you haven't thought through properly, that you haven't planned for properly, it usually doesn't end well. So just take your time. Good things take time. Social media. Be careful how you use social media and how you let it influence you. Most of this crisis, the quarter life crisis, is from social media, because you feel like, oh my God, I need to be like X. X is doing this. X is not showing you the backstory. X is not showing you the journey, how they got where they are, or the bad stories. So you only see the good stuff, the glamorous stuff, and you want to be there, and it's pushing you into a depression. Be careful how you use social media. I am a very social media person, so I'm not going to tell you to stop using social media, but I'm going to tell you to use it wisely. Follow pages that encourage you, that motivate you, instead of following pages that make you feel like, oh God, my life sucks. The other thing would be, instead of finding a social media goals, find a mentor. So if you're in that point in your life where you're in a crisis and you don't know where you're headed, it's always good. It's good advice to find someone who will give you direction, who has been there probably, or who is on the path that you want to be. Find a mentor. Find someone you can look up to, someone you can be accountable to. That is very important. Now, on top of finding a mentor, surround yourself with the right people. I know we've had this over and over again, but I'm telling you, the moment you're surrounded by people who do not see your journey, who do not see your dreams, who do not see you, you are going to be feeling like you are lost for a very, very long time. And when I say surround yourself with the right people, it could also mean cutting out some people. If someone is not bringing a positive light to your life, to your dreams, to your mood, you need to keep them far away. You can love them. They could be family. They could be really close friends. You can love them, but love them from a distance. Bring people who bring a good energy, but not just a good energy. Have friends who motivate you, who tell you you can do it, who pull you up when you're feeling down. Friends who want to see you grow. It's one thing having a friend you can have drinks with and get drunk with, and then it's another having that friend who tells you, you know what? Go and apply for that job. I think you can do it. You know what? Let's upgrade our resumes and see where we can send them out. You know, I think you're really good at this. It could be something you could grow into a business. I don't know. It could be anything, but someone who builds you in a positive way, someone who makes you find yourself, who helps you find yourself. Make those kind of friends. Surround yourself with those kind of people. It may not be someone who's going to give you these business ideas or who is as ambitious as you are, but it could be someone who, when you sit with them, you have a good air, you have a good mood, a good feeling. That's very, very important. Don't be afraid of change. Coincidentally, I was watching Patricia Bright's video this morning, and she was saying, you know, in life you're going to have people who are going to tell you, oh, you've changed. Most times those people mean that you have grown, but they're not saying it in that positive way. Whenever people are afraid of change, I feel like they are afraid of growth, because everything changes. We grow, we evolve, and that's fine. If you're not okay with change, then you're not going to be okay with growth. You should be fine with change. It could be changing from the plans you had, changing from where you live, changing from your job, changing from, I don't know, it could be anything, but don't be afraid to change. And when you see that people are not happy with changes you're making in your life, you might want to reevaluate those people, because change is not necessarily a bad thing. On the contrary, change is usually a good thing, because it means you are trying to improve in some way. So when people tell you,
Linda, I think you've changed.
it's not necessarily a bad thing. It could mean that,
Girl, you are upgrading.
and that's all right. Don't be afraid to change. It can be scary, but don't be afraid. Lastly, guys, I will tell you something. You are not alone. You are not alone. 99.999% of us are going through a quarter life crisis, have been through a quarter life crisis, or are yet to go through a quarter life crisis. But you see, the thing is, I feel like every crisis in your life comes as a changing moment, as a learning moment. It's always something that shakes you up and brings you to an even greater place in your life. So try to come out of it, but try to come out of it positively. You're not alone. If any one of you wants to share their story about being in this crisis and this period in their lives of soul searching, please leave a comment down in the comment section. Share with me your stories and how you have been able to get out of it, because I feel like it would be helpful for very, very many of us. Other than that, I wish you a fabulous day and see you in my next video. Bye bye.